Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready to talk about multifamily?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Live from the lounge, we're talking in real time. New vibes, bold minds, and stories that shine. From chats to laughs, where ideas thrive. So kick back, tune in, we're going live. So kick back, tune in, we're going live.
This episode of Live from the Lounge is brought to you by Built, the loyalty program for renters, transforming rent payments into valuable rewards. Learn more at Built.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live from the Lounge.
Yay.
Very excited to join you today for our first episode. We're here at Wayfair, Seattle, in the Yesler neighborhood. So, Jordan, can you kind of tell us a little bit about Live from the Lounge? And who we are and why we decided to start this podcast.
So I'm Jordan, this is Ariel, and we work at Thrive, and we just kind of came up with an idea for Live from the Lounge. We really wanted to create a space that really felt welcoming, relaxing, and we wanted to share some fun stories that I feel like sometimes aren't really brought to light a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree. I think our industry is so vast, from the resident experience, the client perspective, the business aspects, the financial aspects. But what it really comes down to, I think, is community, right?
Exactly.
And so that's kind of the concept of Live from the Lounge, is being able to highlight our communities that house people in our neighborhoods, Seattle being a very dense populated area, and just being able to highlight, which is why we're here today, the Wayfair Lounge, just very beautiful stories to tell, right?
Yeah. So what do you think kind of inspired us to start Live from the Lounge? I know I have a few ideas of what kind of sparked our memories, but I'm curious to what you have to say.
Totally. So I think we were just kind of looking for a space to highlight the people, the stories. There's a lot of untold stories. There's a lot of untold themes that go along with our industry. And I think for us to be able to kind of go in depth to that, and I know we have a lot of kind of different episodes coming up, so I'm excited to kind of touch on those a little bit today. But I would like to ask, from the episodes that we will be recording, what do you think you're most looking forward to?
I think I'm most looking forward to really just hearing those stories that we don't hear all the time. I'm not a super huge listener of podcasts, but I kind of want to start kind of getting into it, listening in to stories that aren't told as much. And I think that that's just a really unique aspect that we have with this podcast. We'll be able to speak to some people who maybe sometimes don't get that front stage kind of light. So that's kind of what I'm excited about.
Yeah. And I also think too, we want something to be organic and real and unscripted. So who better than us? Before we started, I was chaotic and crazy, and I think that's kind of what we need to kind of match the energy of what our industry is, for sure.
So
and I think
true.
it just kind of shows the human side of who we are. At the end of the day, we're real people, and we all have experiences, and we all just really contribute every day to the success of the industry. And so I'm just really excited to do this with you here today. I know that the one question people will ask, though, is like, who the heck are we? And like, why
are we here?
Why do we feel qualified to yap at people on the internet? So
true.
Can you tell us, like, who are you and kind of where you came from and how you ended up in the industry?
I graduated about 2 years ago from the University of Arizona with a degree in marketing. And I've kind of always loved homes, apartments, interior design. And I always kind of planned to be in a job where I'm looking at houses and apartments and interiors and things. It's just something I've always loved. So I started out as a leasing agent here in Seattle, and I moved my way up to assistant community manager. And during that whole backstory, I really was focused on social media at those communities, and I was trying to build up their social medias for these properties that didn't have any. And then Thrive had an opening for marketing coordinator, and that was something that I kind of never really done before, and it felt really fun and official. So I applied for that, and then that's just kind of how I got started at Thrive, and that was about a year and a half ago, I think, which is crazy.
Well, do you still think it's fun?
I do.
Okay, good.
This episode is brought to you by Built, the loyalty program that turns every on-time rent payment into the industry's most valuable and flexible points currency. Members can transfer points one-to-one to their favorite airlines and hotels. Use them for future rent payments, redeem for rideshare, and more. Head to built.com to learn more. Well, what about you? What was your kind of start into the multifamily world?
Yeah, I think my start is kind of similar to, I think, what we would hear a lot of industry peers say is you just kind of find yourself in it and then you just never leave. But my story is a little bit more unique in the sense that like I didn't start in marketing. I have no marketing background. I started on site and just kind of worked my way up various levels of community on-site titles, and then through various experiences during, new development lease ups and things like that, I really kind of tapped into the marketing side, and I was able to join marketing, and now I'm senior marketing manager, and I get to do fun things like this and get to meet really fun people and get to do really cool things. And so I think at the end of the day, I never would have thought I would be here right now filming a podcast, but life has a funny way of doing things. So
it really does.
Yeah.
So speaking of kind of the episodes and what we're hoping for with this series, what do we want listeners to really take away from each episode that we film?
You know what? I think we have a really good concept of the everyday. I think our experiences are able to kind of go a little bit more in depth, tap in a little bit more to maybe, we talked about telling untold stories, but I think for us, it's a little bit more high level. It's, tapping into industry trends. It's tapping into, the resident experience, the leasing experience. You and I got to attend a conference earlier this year, and it was very tech heavy. Yes. It was very AI driven. And we were able to come back, to our desks and really put something together, which actually kind of prompted this, right?
Yeah.
So I think really for us, it's being able to showcase the things that we are doing to keep up with the trends in marketing that maybe aren't so much just multifamily.
Yep.
Marketing is such a vast concept that, we don't always have to stay within the box that we've always done. I've heard my entire career, like, that's just the way we've always done it. And I don't necessarily think that needs to be the way moving forward. So if, by us starting this, by us having those conversations with clients, with industry partners, with peers, how can we continue to move forward our industry that aligns with the rest of the marketing world?
Exactly. I think we really want people to be able to come onto our podcast and find an episode that resonates to them. I think since we're going to have such a wide audience and variety of people, we just really want to make episodes that people can really connect with. And maybe if one doesn't connect with them, then there's another one that really hits on a topic that they love to hear about.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, I'm curious, we kind of talked about your coming up in the industry, knowing that now you've been with Thrive for about a year and a half. I'm curious, like what do you love most about working for Thrive, and how do you think that will contribute to the success of where we are with this series?
For me, it's really our team. This is my manager, by the way. We didn't say that, but it's really my team. Everyone is just so welcoming, and they were from the very beginning, and they're ready for you to just have an idea and run with it. Like this podcast, this was an idea that Ariel and I created pretty early on. And I've just had some really amazing opportunities to be able to take ideas that I've had and bring them to light. So I think just kind of taking those things and what I love about our team and our communication, we can really bring that into the podcast, bring some new, fun, cutting edge ideas that some people maybe just aren't quite thinking of yet.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think for me, I think it's the collaboration.
Yeah.
We get to collaborate with so many people from different departments and different levels of, the industry, that I think it kind of just helps highlight how honestly great we can be. And it just kind of continues to motivate me. And I would say the same for you, right? Like just being able to kind of see you came from a coordinator and now you're a senior marketing specialist. Like it's just such a different, just a lot of information that you're acquiring as the days go by and you're being able to implement it. And we don't learn just by doing things ourselves. We learn by from each other. And so I think collaboration for sure is something that
No,
I
same.
really value, and being able to kind of just put your heads together, have very different ideas. I think that kind of goes along with the concept of Live from the Lounge.
It really does, yeah.
When we were first talking about it, it was, we want to be real, we want to be authentic, but we want to showcase too the relationship that you and I built as strangers to now be able to do and sit here and do this, right? And that for us, I think, is community. That's community. That is the whole concept of like why we're here and why we chose these lounges, because when people come together, you know, they are happiest and they collaborate.
Exactly.
And they, you know, just have fun. And so we wanted to maybe just find the location that best brings that together. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to be able to like do this with you. We have a lot of fun conversations coming up.
Yes.
We're starting at Art House with Carrie Anderson, the founder of Thrive. Are there any other conversations you're looking forward to, or is there a highlight in that conversation you're looking forward to touch base on?
We're going to be able to kind of speak with some really interesting people and some interesting perspectives. I think one that I'm looking the most forward to is talking to a maintenance professional. Coming from my career on the leasing side of things, maintenance workers were super, super important. And I think a lot of the times people don't pay as much attention to the work that they do. It just kind of goes unseen. So I'm really excited to speak to a maintenance professional, kind of see what their day-to-day is, what their life looks like, and how they fit into Thrive and what they love. And I think that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree.
What about you? I'm curious.
I am very excited, I think, to talk with Carrie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about it before offline. I've communicated this to Carrie numerous times throughout my Thrive career, but you know, I always felt like my Thrive career came kind of full circle for me. When I started with Thrive, I had always wanted to work for Thrive, and I had worked for 2 previous companies before. And so I just always remember Carrie as like the staple.
And who is Carrie
Carrie
again, for people
Anderson
who don't know?
is our founder of Thrive.
Yes.
So what is it, 17, 18 years now?
Yeah.
She has kind of just created this whole entity and organization that's really just people focused. And so that was something that I remembered back when I was first green and first starting out. And I remember attending Emerald Awards and just being able to see how happy people were to be working for this organization. So I'm excited to kind of hear her story, to kind of understand and tap into like what her concept of Thrive was and where we are today, and just kind of reflect back on that. And yeah, tap into just kind of the inner workings of her brain.
Yeah.
I think if we all can kind of be like Carrie.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to these next few episodes with you, and everyone can tune in on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So we'll see you next time.
Yeah, good job. We did it. Big thanks again to our sponsor, Built, the loyalty program for renters. Head to Built.com to learn more.